Hi guys, happy Monday. Welcome back to another episode of Soulful Living with Megs. As always, it is so great to have you here back for a moment of connection with me. Guys, oh my goodness. Happy Monday. I hope your week has been going fantastic. If you're listening to this later on in the week, I hope that your weekend was fabulous and that you got some sun and had the chance to enjoy it. I know here in Vancouver, it finally was sunny over the weekend, and I'm currently recording this on Sunday, so you're hearing this the following day. And I am admiring the view that I have while I'm sitting and chatting with you because the sun is just starting to rise. It's peeking out from the different buildings here downtown, and it's slightly shining through, and it's just so gorgeous. And honestly, this is the first time I've spoken yet today because it's still quite early. But I've really been looking forward to sitting and chatting with you. I had a great day yesterday with my beautiful prima, Mackenzie, and I walked across the bridge to meet her, which was kind of a beautiful walk to do. It was pitch black because it was like a 6 a.m. walk. And then we sat and we were bird watching by the beach and seeing all the dogs walk by. We went and grabbed coffee and just sat and enjoyed our company and caught up and all of the good, wholesome things. I felt very full. And then after that, I took a workout class and that was fantastic, but I'm very sore today. So I'm excited that today is going to be an active rest day. I am going to do my meal prep. I'm obviously prepping for the pod here. I cleaned my house yesterday after the gym, which was great. I put up some more art that I had printed, and my space just feels so cozy and homey. And then after I do meal prep and get ready, I'm probably going to go on a walk, make that my active rest day, and just enjoy the sun that we have while we have it. As you guys know, in the wintertime, it's quite limited here. But such good vibes for 2026, honestly. And I know I said this before in the previous episode that it does feel different. And honestly, it does. And it's funny because right now I feel like everybody is in throwback mode and they're going through their 2016 memories because a lot of people online have been saying that 2026 is going to feel like 2016. And everybody talks about how great 2016 was. Honestly, I was in grade 11 at the time. I think it was a fine year. I mean, hard to say just because, you're in high school, you're still learning. I was doing the same things I was doing the previous year, the next year, whatever. But I mean, it was fun, I suppose. But honestly, I feel like if we are going in to the new year with this mindset of it's going to be a great year because everybody says 2016 was such a great year, then I think we will have a great year because again, our thoughts create our reality, and I'm a huge believer in that. Obviously, I've talked about it. But regardless if it feels the same, obviously it's not going to feel the exact same, but I think having this positive mindset shift that 2026 is this new beginning, that it is going to be good vibes and positive vibes, we are going to have a great year. And I just feel so full already, even though we are only not even a month in. And it's just, yeah, it's giving happy healing vibes. It's giving confident vibes. And I guess to segue into the episode, I thought it was a great time to talk about ins and outs of 2016. I guess it's a good time to talk about ins and outs for 2026 because we are still so early into the year. And also, the Lunar New Year isn't starting until February this year. So, technically, we are still in the year of the snake. So, we do have time to shed these layers that aren't serving for us and then transition into the year of the horse, which is supposed to be all about new beginnings and striving forward and working hard and maintaining goals and achieving goals and all of the good and amazing things that we have in store. So I figured, why not? Let's talk about some ins and outs that I've thought about for 2026. And I got this idea from Emma Chamberlain's podcast. To be honest, did not listen to the episode because I'm in between like watching many different things right now and listening to many different podcasts. So I don't want to overwhelm myself with more, but I saw her title of Ins and Outs for 2026. And I was like, yeah, I want to do that too. I want to figure out for me personally what I want to keep out of 2026 and then what I want to keep bringing in for 2026. And of course, these are my opinions, but I'm hoping that one of them will land with you and that you'll feel the same way and that you can take that with you, or something that you maybe haven't thought of that we can just keep in mind for having a strong year ahead of us. And of course, throughout today's episode, I want you to take whatever resonates with you and just leave the rest out. Of course, if my opinions at any time that we have a conversation, if it doesn't sit true with you, that's so okay. You do not have to take it. Just because I think something doesn't mean you should think something. And I know you know that, but I just want to reiterate that everything that I say honestly comes from the thoughts that I have based on things that I've seen and heard and read and understood myself to be. And it's all right if it doesn't sit the same way for you. Okay, we're going to start with the outs for 2026 because this list is shorter than the ins. And, I don't want to sit too much in the outs. I don't want to say that they're negative, but it's just to be more mindful of things that we don't necessarily maybe want coming into this new year. So the first thing that I have on this list is wishy-washy behavior. I literally wrote it like that. And I think it's true. I think that this can reign within yourself. It can reign true within relationships romantically that you have with people and also friendships. Just any type of behavior that is wishy-washy. You're saying one thing, doing another. Someone's saying one thing and doing another. Honestly, our actions and our words need to align more. And also, the people that you surround yourself with, they should not be having a differentiation between their words and their actions. Also, I just want to quickly pause and say that the sun has just peaked up high enough to be directly in my eyes. And honestly, it's quite beautiful. I'm just like soaking up that natural light on my skin. My eyes are probably going to be closed for the majority of the episode until the sun rises a little bit more, but it's just, oh my gosh, it's so stunning. I personally love the morning. I love a sunrise. I, of course, enjoy a sunset, but I am a morning person, so to have this beautiful sunrise up, the UV isn't too high, which is great, and then it's not too hot. Ah, I just love a morning. This is such a beautiful, slow morning that I am going to romanticize probably the entire day. Anyway, let's get back into these outs. So, of course, no wishy-washy behavior. The second thing that I have is friends who don't feel energizing or rejuvenating. Big one here, you guys. This is not the year to keep holding on to people that don't make you feel good. You need to feel sparkly around your friends. And of course, that saying is from Tinks because you know I'm obsessed. But it is so true. I do not want to spend time with people that don't make me feel like me. I want to be able to be as exuberant. Is that a word? I think so, something like that. I want to be as vibrant. I want to be as joyous, as energetic, as full of light as I can. And the right people will continue to bring that out of me. So if I am leaving a situation feeling drained, feeling like, and this is different from when your social battery runs out, because I do feel like, especially for me at certain phases in my cycle, I'm not feeling very social at times, and it has nothing to do with the people around me, because obviously I have beautiful friends in my life that just give me so much love all of the time. But of course, if I'm feeling something, going through something, if I'm just like exhausted mentally, it's a little bit harder to feel that energy. But I'm talking like constant, you're leaving a situation not feeling good. Take note of that. And we just don't want people that don't make us feel good in 2026. Okay, number 3 is a shitty diet. I love this one. I am going to continue to work hard on maintaining a good, I've always felt like I have a good hold on my diet and like almost usually following the 80-20 rule, but I kind of want to do more like 90-10 almost, or just be more mindful of what I'm consuming in my body because unfortunately, like North Americans, and I think we're a little bit better in Canada here, but like in America, the food, okay, both places. We just have very, very high processed foods and it's not good for us. And so I pretty much only eat produce, like pretty much the perimeter of the grocery store I do consume, which creates a very expensive bill. But anyway, I do like junk food once or twice. You know what I mean? Like if there's something breaded, if there's some ooey gooey cookie that's not too sweet, I just love it. I love eating. I love enjoying food. And this is not to say that I can't do that. But I can still maintain a very healthy, clean diet while also enjoying those foods. And to be honest, that means for me, instead of reaching for a processed treat, I'll have 3 dates that I put peanut butter in and then salt them. Because to me, that tastes so much better than the Reese's Pieces. I'm going to be honest, I love Reese's Pieces, but they've done something recently because the last one that I had did not taste like a real Reese's Pieces. So I'm not sure what formula they've done something to it. So it's not that good anymore. Or last night, you know what I did? My beautiful cousin got me a gift card to DoorDash, which I never order in food, but it was actually perfect timing because I had gotten groceries, but I don't think I had enough for dinner last night because I usually just think about the week for dinner and lunch and not what am I going to have this weekend. But anyway, so I ordered in my favorite med bowl. I like them both from Joey and Cactus Club. I feel like I like Joey's more, to be honest. But anyway, I had a beautiful med bowl, which was very good. I also baked afterward to have as a sweet treat. I had some leftover oats where I was making cookies like way back when. So I made refined sugar free oatmeal coconut cookies. So instead of like any sugar, I used pure maple syrup. I used some coconut oil to retain some of the moisture. I used a mashed up banana instead of flour, and then I like blended oats finely instead of using oat flour because I didn't have oat flour. Anyway, the point of that is it turned out so well that this is like a healthier sweet treat. So I've thought a lot about, a diet going into 2026, and I always feel better, and I've definitely mentioned this before. I always feel better having eating clean and then having a treat that's very clean too, such as the dates or such as a piece of dark chocolate because I prefer that over milk chocolate. Like healthier options, I think is the move for us just so that we can have longevity in our life and then feel good when we're doing these things, like our activities that we love to do, to know that we're fueling our body in the best way possible. And even like I make my own sourdough bread now, as you guys know. So the fact that I know that I'm only putting in 3 ingredients in that loaf, as opposed to the grocery store that has so many additives, I don't even know what the words are. And if I can't read it and understand what it is, I probably shouldn't be buying it. So I just want us to be more mindful. I mean, if you want to keep eating the way that you're eating and you love it, amazing for you. I'm just saying, I feel like outs are a crappy diet because we want to feel good with the food that we're consuming because so much of our social life and our world revolves around eating, I feel. At least for me, because I quite enjoy food. What a long ramble to say all that. I'm so sorry. The next thing that I have is working to the point of burnout. This is huge. I personally don't want to feel that I am working and spreading myself so thin that I have no time outside of my career to enjoy my life. I don't think the point of life is to, what's the saying of, I work to live, not live to work? And this is something that I try to tell myself when I am feeling extremely stressed at work because I understand I need to work in order to maintain a lifestyle. But I know that when I am getting paid, the things that I'm doing with the money that I make fuels the joys that I have in life. And I'm not the reverse of that. I'm not working or I'm not living to go to my job every day. And I hope that you're not doing that. I hope that if you love your job, that's different. And you like genuinely enjoy what you do, again, completely different. But the point is that you need to find a balance between work and life. Burnout is a very serious thing because stress and that type of fatigue and stress and strain on your body, even the healthiest people, like, could shorten your lifespan, I feel. I mean, I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but I feel like that could be the case because that could turn into a chronic issue, which could then create problems in your health that then you have to deal with. So we are not in 2026 working to the point of burnout. Yes, I understand finances are a stressful thing for a lot of people. I totally get that. But I almost promise you, like, even if I always feel like even if you have so much money in the world, all the money in the world, yes, money buys resources, but I truly don't think it buys happiness. It helps you get the things to attain a life that you maybe want to live. Like, you can get more massages, you can go to the spa, you can take vacation, and all of those things help make you feel good. It can, but ultimately, I mean, how you feel about yourself at the end of the day, how much you love yourself, the people you surround yourself with, I feel like that all means more than like materialistic things. So, yes, I understand that finances are huge and we do have to work to pay for our life and our lifestyle, but you don't need to be working yourself to the bone where you feel drained every single day and stressed out. It's just not worth it. And to tie into that, the next thing I have is spreading yourself too thin, and then I think that goes hand in hand with what I just said. I think focusing on less things at a time is more beneficial for us. I think that, as women, especially, we are fairly good multitaskers, but also multitasking and like doing so many things at one time, like, how much energy and effort are you actually putting into each thing? Like, why don't we just focus on one thing at a time, get one thing done at a time? It'll make life far easier and more enjoyable, I feel. Okay, the next thing that I have is relationships that are more difficult than fun or easy. Self explanatory. I want to surround myself with people, with loved ones that, I have fun with genuinely. And this is not to say that relationships will never be difficult. Of course, they're going to be difficult. There's going to be hard times. But if you have been in relationships in the past that have been far more difficult than easy, which I feel like we all can kind of relate to at some point in our life, you know how it makes you feel. So let's go into 2026 knowing that we want something different and then actually doing something different. So just be mindful of like who you're letting into your life this year, and if you do feel at the beginning that it is fairly difficult, it shouldn't be that hard in the beginning, then maybe we need to reevaluate if this is really serving to us. We have a few more outs for 2026, and the next one that I have is lack of accountability and follow through. Yeah, I think this goes for yourself as an individual and then also the people that you have in your life. Taking accountability, I believe, is a huge skill and trait to have. I think it's important to be able to acknowledge that you might have been wrong in a situation or hold yourself accountable for something that you've maybe not followed through on. And just know that humans aren't perfect and you're not going to be perfect. And that's the beauty of it all. But to make sure that you are aware and that the people you surround yourself with are also aware. Yeah, I just feel like it's self-explanatory and you know exactly how, or if you've had people in your life that lack that accountability and follow through, and you know how it makes you feel. So being mindful of that. This is such a random one, more holistic side of it, but I do want to be more mindful of this and to have less heavily fragranced things in my household. I used to be a big candle girl. I used to love all of the candles at Bath and Body Works, and Even like the Tide laundry, I used to love the smell of it. And once in a while, I don't mind it, to be honest, but I've gotten a lot more sensitive since moving here in many areas, but also with my scent that I just get headaches more easily with heavy, heavy, heavy fragranced things. And I personally love the fragrance that I use. I get a lot of compliments on it. It's potent, but it doesn't last long because it's not an eau de parfum. I think it's an eau de toilette. I think that's what the differentiation is. So it doesn't last too long, but it's like a really sweet vanilla. It's quite lovely. It kind of smells like you're baking something. Anyway, it's gorgeous to me. But I try to avoid very, very heavily scented things just because, again, I get headaches from them. Like the Bath and Body Works candles now, I cannot light them because they give me headaches. I have incense instead, and then I also use my diffuser, and that is enough for me, to be honest with you. If I do use a candle, it will be a very natural, like with the wood wick, very like, yeah, just a natural smell, naturally made, and probably with less ingredients in them. I even have a reed diffuser, and to be honest, it is way too strong, so I never actually use the reeds in it. I just keep the container because it's quite cute. But heavily fragranced items or like cleaning products in your house, I feel like we should be more mindful of it just because there are a lot of chemicals that are not good for us. And I was actually talking about this has nothing to do with the fragrance things, but it has to do with additives and certain chemicals and ingredients. But I was talking to my cousin about this yesterday, and we were talking about a diet, so I guess it kind of ties into that. But she said that deli meat is like the number one carcinogenic and that it's cancer causing, which makes sense as to why pregnant women cannot consume deli meat. And luckily, I don't actually eat a lot of like processed meats anyway. Once in a while, I love a good turkey bacon. I had an Italian sandwich last week that they ordered in at work, and so obviously it had some deli meat, I assume, on there, but it's very seldom that I actually ever consume a sandwich with processed meats. But just be mindful of that. Like if there are chemicals, heavily fragranced things, like what is that doing to our body? I feel like having a more holistic approach in 2026 is the move, at least for me personally. Okay, couple more here. I have activities or jobs that do not suit our lifestyle or align with your inner world. I understand when I wrote this, I said, obviously, I can't quit my job tomorrow without a plan. But I think starting to have plans for jobs or studies or activities that make you feel like yourself is kind of what we should be focusing on. And just knowing that you can align yourself with anything that you choose, but aligning yourself with things that really speak to you, I think will help us into this new year, start this new beginning. And yeah, I understand that we can't quit our jobs tomorrow because that would be kind of crazy for a lot of reasons. But being mindful and like actually creating plans is what's going to get the ball rolling and moving, and something that I think is more attainable and will make us feel better. So we shouldn't be doing activities or we shouldn't be doing work that just doesn't make us feel good, doesn't make us feel like ourselves. So if you don't want to do something, you shouldn't. And that leads me into the final one for outs of 2026 is saying yes when you really mean no. We are no longer saying yes to things that we don't want to go to, that we don't want to attend, that we don't want to do. If you hesitate to say yes to something, of course, if like you have to check your schedule or whatever, but in your body that you do not want to do something. And if you don't want to do it, do not say yes. This is not the year to people please. This is not the year to say yes when you really mean no. Stand up for yourself. Create the life that you want to live. And that starts with saying no to more things because you don't want to go. And no is a full sentence. So I'm personally going to work really hard at understanding that I can say no without an explanation. If I don't want to do something, I should not have to do it. And I should not have to feel pressured into saying yes. Okay, so we're going to get into the fun stuff, the ins for 2026. And I feel as though you could totally argue that it's the opposite of everything that we had just talked about our outs. And I do agree. I think that those are, the opposite of outs could be ins. But I actually wanted to get into some details, more things instead of just saying, oh, it's everything that we just talked about, but the reverse. So, ins for 2026 that I have personally are people who keep your light bright. Yeah, that's the opposite of pretty much people that don't make you feel energized. But it's so true. I always feel so much better when I am with the people that make me feel like myself. So I think we need to focus on surrounding ourselves with people who keep our light so very bright. Second one that I have is mind body work. I feel like that's such a good thing to do. And even when you're working out or going on a walk, just being more mindful of how your body's feeling at certain points can create that mind body connection and then keep you, I feel, so in sync with yourself. I think that creates a better nervous system. I think just being more mindful in general is such a good in for 2026. Next one that I have is activities that keep you engaged and fulfilled. Yes, that is what we want. I want to feel so fun and light and airy and just so fulfilled in the work that I do. So whether you like to do art, whether you like to do a sport or dancing or singing or journaling or collaging or painting, keep doing the things that make you feel like yourself, that make you feel happy, that calm you down. Reading more to learn more. Yes, that is what we want to do in 2026. I actually love that I've done this the past couple years. I've truly gotten into reading. I'm obsessed with it now. I do not go to bed without reading a few pages. And reading more to learn more, I feel like is such a huge thing that we should be doing because I always want to be expanding my knowledge. I want to learn more. I want to discover things that I've never thought about before, never learned before, or have new ideas or opinions that I can sit with. Yeah, I feel like that's generally a resolution for people is to read more, but truly, you should want to read more to learn more because knowledge is power, ultimately. Okay, healthy relationships with your body. Yeah, we need that in for 2026. 2026 is a year of truly embodying yourself and loving yourself, I feel. At least that's what I want to think of it as. So, creating a healthier relationship with the beautiful body that you have, it's absolutely insane when I think about the human body, what it actually does for us and what it can do for us. So I want us to have the most healthy and loving relationship with our bodies this year. And I'm going to work really hard to do that. So I hope that you do too. Another in for 2026 is consistent household cleaning and chores during the week so that you have more time to relax on the weekends / make time for your friends and trips, etc. I feel like this is a great thing to do in 2026 because I feel as though we're so busy during the week and we have things after work. If you work, a traditional 9 to 5, let's say, and the last thing that you really want to do when you get home is clean up or do chores or laundry. So a lot of us save it to the weekend just because we do have more time during the day usually to do it. But I feel like doing small things throughout the week will let you just catch up on everything on your weekend because at least I feel like we don't have enough time as it is during the weekend to get everything done. So if you can come home one day and you have some energy, maybe clean your bathroom. That way you don't have to do it on the Saturday. And then do a load of laundry so that you don't have to do all of your loads on the weekend. Or again, clean your living room, clean your kitchen, clean a section of your home, and then allow yourself to have more time on the weekend to actually do the fun things that you want to do and get out of the house, especially when it's nice out. Because I feel like when we get into the warmer months, I feel so guilty when I'm stuck inside having to clean my house that I just kind of neglect it. It's not like I don't clean during the summer, but I just feel like I have to be taking advantage of the warm weather. So I would much rather do it either right away in the morning before I get, my day started, or when I get home from work. Doing like one thing each day will just kind of maintain the cleanliness in your house so that you don't have one huge, hours long of things to do. You have to tackle every room. And I think it's different when you want to actually deep clean. Yeah, it's going to take you some time. Like when I deep cleaned yesterday, but that was different. Like I was doing every single thing. This is like, you want to make sure your counters are wiped. You want to make sure that your floors are vacuumed. You want to make sure that your baseboards are dusted, because they do get dusty, you guys. You should really dust those and clean them up. Or just clean, yeah, like clean your toilet and clean your bathtub so that you don't have to literally be scrubbing forever and ever later on. Just like small things that will just keep your life easier so that you have more time for the fun stuff. The next one that I have is slow mornings. You guys know I'm an advocate for this, but actually, like slow, intentional moments in your day for pause, for a nervous system resetting. That doesn't mean that like you have to have slow mornings, but just be intentional about what you're doing. Pause more, to listen to the sounds around you, to ground yourself in our earth. I love this to start my day. And I do have a lot of time in the morning to get ready, but that's because I wake up and I make my latte, or I stretch and then I get ready. Like there are so many rituals that I have in the morning that just set me up for a beautiful day ahead, and that just keeps me sane, honestly. So actually being intentional about your moments in your day and creating pause for them, I think will be a game changer in 2026. Next one that I have, big one here, is speaking kindly to yourself. No more putting yourself down. Yes, we are not doing that in 2026. We are speaking kind things to ourselves. And I am trying already to do this. But I've noticed myself throughout the years, and my best friend Nat can attest to this. And even people at work have told me, you say this phrase a lot, where there's a few things that I say that I'm kind of, in a way, speaking down to myself. Where if something looks cute on me, I put on an outfit and I look good, or my hair looks nice. Nat will often compliment me and say, wow, you look so beautiful, or you look great, whatever it is. And then I'll often say, yeah, it's not bad, right? Like, it's not too bad. Why am I using that phrase? It's like, why not embrace the fact that I do feel beautiful and good? I should be saying that instead of, it's not bad, right? What? No, no, no. We're not doing that anymore. And then I had a coworker the other day tell me, Meg, you say this might be a dumb question a lot before you ask. And people always say there are no dumb questions, but I just feel like I say that because if it's a very small question in my head, often when I say that, it's like I feel like I should already know this, but I'm going to ask you for confirmation. So ever since she told me that, I'm trying to be more mindful of not starting my sentence off with that. And I've so far succeeded. I shouldn't be apologizing for asking questions or needing clarification, because I never tell people, well, why are you asking me that? You should know this. Like no one has ever told me that, so I shouldn't be doing that. But we are speaking kinder to ourselves in 2026. We are not putting ourselves down anymore, because the mind listens to you. The brain will believe what you tell it. So tell it the most beautiful things, because it will believe that, and then it will continuously evolve and grow and become all of those things. Next one that I have is making to-do lists for everyday life outside of work to help complete your tasks. I do this already and I actually love it. It keeps me quite organized. And so I'll put like a to-do for the week in my notes app, and then I'll just have like a list of things that I need to get done, whether it's appointments that I need to book, or people I need to call, or whatever I need to do. And then when I'm checking them off my list, I feel so accomplished. It just, yeah, creates some organization in my life, because I feel like I'll think during the day before I actually wrote this stuff down of, oh, I need to stop for whatever on the way home from work. And then I forget because I don't write it down. Or you think, oh, I'll remember to grab that as well at the grocery store. And because you didn't write it down, you forgot it. So there's so much going on in our lives and our minds. So putting it down will, take that off of your to-do list in your brain to create more space for other things. So write it down and check it off because you'll feel so accomplished. I promise you that. And then also it helps to put things in your calendar. I love putting in, even when I'm doing coffee or breakfast with a friend, like I will say I'm doing this day because then I can actually see, okay, how's my week structured? What do I need to do? How do I need to prioritize certain things for myself in order to make room for all of these other things? Just think that's so helpful. So hopefully that'll help you if you haven't done that yet. Okay, a few more. Setting boundaries and not apologizing for them. Yes, that is such an in for 2026. We do not need to apologize for the boundaries that we are setting for ourselves to protect ourselves. Don't be afraid to set a boundary. The more that you do it and practice, the easier it becomes. And then the less you will feel you need to apologize or feel guilt over it. And if you have not checked out my boundary episode yet, you totally should. I break down this book that I read about boundaries that was very helpful in my opinion. I think that she broke down all types of boundaries to set and the different, I guess, types of boundaries, red light, green light, things like that, when you should set a boundary. Anyway, it's so beneficial. So you should read that book if you haven't as well. But we do not need to apologize for protecting ourselves. So we are setting more boundaries in 2026 and not being afraid to do it. Okay, another in for 2026 is inner work, therapy, healing ourselves, holistic approaches and practices to maintain our overall well-being. I love this one. I think that a lot of us are already doing this. I feel as though a lot of my friends that I talk to, we are huge advocates for therapy and inner healing and work on ourselves and mindfulness because I just feel like it creates a beautiful connection with the world around you and the people that you have in your life. And, it's a very strong thing to want to better yourself and work on yourself and talk to somebody about things that you've been through and how to move forward in your life. And I think that this is the year to do it. If you haven't already, this is a beautiful start. The year of 2026 is all about new beginnings. It's the 1 and the 0. And so it is truly like a cycle coming to an end and then rejuvenating and reblooming. So do that inner work in 2026. I want you to feel so healed. And I think that we are on that track already. I feel like we all feel, again, a sense of this year is different than last year. And that's not to say last year was bad, but it was a lot of things that weren't serving you and knowing that you deserve better and more and then getting away from that. So this is all about cultivating that inner work and that inner healing within yourself. Being intentional about our time and how we're moving in the world. Similar to things we've talked about earlier, especially like intentional moments of slowing down. But I personally want to be intentional about who I spend my time with and what I do, and then making sure that it aligns with my values. Because time is, it doesn't last forever. We are here for a certain amount of time, and we only have a certain amount of time, especially in the day, to really focus on things that, like outside of work, that really fuel us. So be intentional about where you're putting your time and energy because it always like circles back to you. And making sure that you are doing things that align with how you want to move in the world, I think will make your experience here a lot easier and make you feel a lot more grateful and open to the world and the experiences that you have. But I personally want to be more intentional about everything that I do. Intentional even about where I put things in my house. Intentional about the purchases that I make because I actually want to be more wise with how I am spending my time, my money, my effort, everything. Okay, two more that I have here for us. And the second last one is to ask more questions and to listen more. I think this ties in with like reading more to learn more, but I just want to be able to understand more with everything in general. I want to listen more because, guys, I like to yap, but I want to listen more when I'm with my friends. I want to have these intellectual conversations where I just want to listen to what people have to say. I want to ask questions more to be more engaging, to be more interesting, because I think we can all be more interesting in a way. And also asking more questions and listening more is like just being more engaging in conversation. And it's just, I want to get more time away from my phone. I want to get more time away from social media. So, like, engaging more in these real life conversations to learn and understand more, I feel like will just keep my brain from not being fried from, social media and online stuff. And I think social media is very beneficial in a lot of ways, but I think that we are relying on our phones as a crutch. And if conversations, if things feel awkward, we feel the need to reach out for our phone and whatever. But like, no, we should be asking more questions. We should be listening to every little detail and then following up on those questions because we're supposed to be only surrounding ourselves with people that, make us want to be better as humans. And you know what I mean when I'm trying to say all that. But yeah, I want to ask more questions in 2026 and I want to listen a lot more because that's a form of engagement and it's a great skill to have. Okay, last one that I have for ins for 2026, which arguably is probably an out for 2026. But we're going to end on it anyway, is we are not selling ourselves short. Yeah, that's totally an out, but we are no longer selling ourselves short. We are going to be confident beings. We are going to know that when you walk into a room, you are meant to be there. The job that you have, you are meant to have it because you are qualified. You are this incredible being that is meant to be exactly where you are. So don't think anything less than. We are going to be more confident. We are going to sell ourselves the way that we would probably describe our friends and sell our friends to other people. The way that you talk about the people that you love is the way that you should be talking about yourself. And we are going to continue to do that all of 2026. And I cannot wait to see how our life shifts and what we learn and what we do. And just in general, I'm so excited for the opportunities of this year. And I cannot wait to hear and see what all of you have been up to. I feel like I want to have more friends on the podcast so that you can hear more about what other people in my life are doing and what they're accomplishing and things that I could learn from them, what you can learn from them, all of the growth. There are so many possibilities that we have for 2026. So I just want to hold on to those and just embrace every opportunity that comes our way. Guys, that was longer than I thought, so I appreciate you sticking by me. I hope that something in this episode resonated with you, that you feel connected with one of the ins and one of the outs, if not all of them. And I just appreciate you for everything that you do, and I can't wait to see where the pod goes this year and what we do. And I hope that your week is filled with endless opportunities of joy and love and light. I'm sending all of that incredible energy to you, so I hope that you feel it. And I cannot wait to connect with you guys next Monday. Be amazing, as you always are. But yeah, we will talk super soon. Okay, bye.